Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to New Jersey with me, Waddy here in Farming Simulator 22. We are still in the process of planting our cotton, ladies and gents, because not a lot of time has elapsed since the end of the last video. In literal fact, it's been about 2 or 3 minutes. In that time, I have taken a bank loan of £500,000. Dollars, euros, potatoes, cabbages, beer tokens, whatever currency you might work in, bottle caps. I've borrowed 500,000. Why have I borrowed 500,000? Well, because I want to buy a couple of fields. That's expensive. That's expensive. That's expensive. Okay. Have I been misled by this thing? Quite possibly. That seems to be a lot cheaper. Have I bought the right land now? Yeah. Okay. So it's actually cheaper to buy the land from this screen than it is to buy it from the map screen. Okay. Interesting. That's something new then. There's a whole bunch of land as well that doesn't have any fields on it. These are like all the houses and things, I think. Like all the little places where there's buildables. But anyway, ladies and gents, we now have field 14 over it. I want that field as well, but I don't know what field that is. That's 1.05 acres. Can I work that out from here? .05. Is it that one? .05 was very specific. No, I've bought that bit up there. .05 for 104,000. That one. That one. That one. I don't know. Well, I bought some plot of land. I don't know what plot of land I bought, but I bought a plot of land. I do not know. Do not know what I bought. We'll go and have a look though. So I've bought field 14, which is a field then I can do something with. So yeah, that's interesting that you can buy fields cheaper using the lease mod than you can from the map screen. But it's a bit unclear when you're buying plots of land as to which plots it is you are buying. I don't know what land is this. Does it tell me? No. Can't use this to find out what field I'm standing on or what plot of land I'm standing on. Right. We've got field 11 here. See, what I was planning to do, if I bought that bit of land, this bit of land, right, if I bought that, I could sell the house, clear the trees, and then make this field, like, proper field. I could square it off, make it a decent-sized field. Now, it's been ploughed. Guessing it's covered in stones. It is covered in stones. As are fields 49. 48 isn't, but 48 is covered in weeds. 48 does need ploughing. Right, couple of tasks then, ladies and gents. Little Kubota, if you'd be so kind as to go and grab Mr. Stone Picker. We can let you go remove the stones from field 14. Like I say, I would have liked, ideally, to have got rid of that house. Then I could have just ploughed that whole section and made a proper shaped field out of it. Right, go and remove some stones, because you are awfully good at stone removing. You are back at the farmyard, excellent. And what we'll do is we'll just shift you out of the way though. Right, I'm going to grab this fella. A T8. I'm going to grab my 9-metre plough. And then I'm going to go and have a look at the 2 fields I've just bought. 48 and 49. Now 48 we know about because that's right next to our field. That's got that little that we did the job on the other day, the cultivating job, or the ploughing job should I say. So it might be worth stripping that out. This field also has this this stupid bit. Not I'm thinking, ladies and gents. I'm thinking maybe turning this into one big field. Turning this into one big field. So what we would need to do that, of course, is we need to remove the trees first and foremost. So goodbye tree. Goodbye tree. Goodbye tree. Perfect. That's what we like to see. Back him up, back him up, back him up. Oh, I'm actually going to start him from here. Camera went a bit wonky there. Yeah, I'm going to plough all this stupid bit out as well. Right, lift that up. I'm just going to check the other end. Will it let me do that? Or is it going to tell me I do not have access to this land? It's letting me do it this far. Bottom of the field. This is the field that needs to be ploughed. And we're going to get rid of these stupid paths running through the field that breaks it into two different parts, because no sense in that, is there? No sense in that at all. There we go. That's all nice. Pretty good. Looks like get this field done, and obviously we'll need to collect the stones off of it. Picking up all the lime off the field. There we go. So yeah, good, pretty decent sized field out of this. Field 14, I might actually put grass on that. I might seed that with grass. There's an idea. Then I can do hay and silage, and then I can get cows, and from the cows we can obviously get leather, which is very nice. I'm also slightly tempted to maybe sell the pig pen. Get rid of the pig pen. I don't think I'm going to bother doing pigs on this map, but we could always have another cow pen then, which would increase our leather output. I'm not sure how many cows you need to make leather. Don't know how much leather you get off a cow. I've never tried peeling a cow before in real life, so I wouldn't know. But then I would need to own the butcher shop as well. Also, for anybody who's wondering, I finished reading my books. I read my books the other evening. I've read the Caleb one and I read the Clarkson one. So that will be interesting. Have a look at. So yeah, I read both of them. Clarkson's book was incredibly short. Incredibly short. Also very, very repetitive, I have to say. He mentioned a lot of things multiple times throughout the book, which was like, I understand why, because each chapter of the book is an article that he published in the, I think, the Sunday Times, which is a newspaper here in the UK. He writes an article every week for the Sunday Times. So some of the some of the chapters obviously come from those articles. So obviously over the course of a year, sometimes obviously he did repeat himself a bit. But yeah, spoilers for season 2 of Clarkson's Farm. He doesn't have sheep anymore. He doesn't have sheep on his farm anymore because they were a complete waste of time and space and money. And he's got cows now instead. So obviously when the second season of Clarkson's Farm eventually releases on Amazon Prime, we're going to see him do cow farming, which should be quite interesting. Quite an experience. Caleb's book was a bit different. It was didn't really have anything to do with farming. It was more him giving his views on various different things about the world. It felt, I'm not being funny, if you've read any of Jeremy Clarkson's early books, like his The World According to Clarkson, or Motor World, or And Another Thing, or I Know You've Got Soul, or Born to be Riled, or any of those books that Clarkson has released, the Caleb book was very similar to those. I almost wonder if Clarkson gave him a hand writing it, because there was a lot of things in there as I read the book that sounded very, very Clarkson-like. And I was like, I wonder if he's had some input into Caleb's book and whether Caleb truly wrote it himself. But there was definitely things in there that were definitely Caleb. Like when we talked about, there was a section in there about holidays, places in the world, travelling, and it gave him they asked him to give his thoughts on various different, like they asked him if he would ever be interested to go to New York, and he said no, because there's no tractors there. No tractors. He says, and it's cold. and covered in snow. He says. I think he's only seen New York in TV shows and movies. Then he was like, oh, would you be interested in going like Tokyo in Japan? And he's like, no. He says, because from everything I've seen on it, he says there's too many people and they all look like sheep. Says it just looks like sheep from the air. There's all these flocks of people moving around. He says, no, I don't like that. He says, because I hate sheep. But then there was a couple of places he did want to go. He wants to go to Alaska. He says, because it's just a vast wilderness. He says, there's nothing there. He says, I like that. He says. He wanted to know if he was Australia as well. He says, I want my to see like the cow farming and that, because they have like massive herds of like hundreds of thousands of cows, and they have to round them up with helicopters. He says, I'd love to do that. He says, I don't fancy going and being eaten by a crocodile though, or punched by a kangaroo. He says, I don't fancy that though. That puts me off a bit. He says. He says, getting punched by a kangaroo. Oh, I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, there's a lot of subjects in there he goes into. Like art. Doesn't understand art. Says, I don't understand what possesses people to put splodges on a page. He says, and then I don't understand why then someone would come along and want to buy said splodges for like 3 million quid. He says, don't get it. I want to buy splodges. He says he only has 5 pictures in his house, or paintings or whatever it is. He says he's got a picture of his grandfather, who's sadly not with us anymore. There's a picture of his dog. There's a picture of him, his partner, and the dog. And then he says he's got a picture of a sheep standing on a cliff edge that overlooks this wonderful like scenery. And the only reason he has that picture in his house, he says, is because every time he enters the room he checks to see if the sheep is still there, because he hopes one day he'll walk into the room and the sheep will not be in the picture, because the sheep has decided to jump off the cliff and kill itself because he hates sheep. And again, I talked about Clarkson being a bit repetitive in his book. Caleb's a little bit repetitive in his. He likes to remind you fairly frequently throughout the whole book that he hates sheep. Because they're stupid animals that just have a death wish and try to kill themselves constantly. He says, you know, they see a fence and they don't think like other animals. Oh, what a wonderful thing that's designed to keep me safe and keep me enclosed in this area and protected from things that might wish to harm me. No, a sheep sees a fence and thinks, oh, that's awesome. I can stick my head in there, turn around 4 times and break my own neck. Because they're stupid. But yeah, that's Caleb for you. Like I say, interesting books. Slightly different spins on things. Obviously Clarkson's is more about obviously his farm and the events of his farm and within farming that have affected him over the last year. Like I say, a lot of repetition in there to do with the whole issue of him struggling to get planning permission to do things on his farm, because all his locals in his village or town where he lives were constantly, you know, protesting against his plans to, you know, add a cafe to his shop and do other things and You know, he was starting to get really annoyed, and he just went on lots of rants about people who protest planning permissions and people who, like the councils and the people who make legislations and regulations to do with planning and building stuff and stuff. The Red Trouser Brigade, as he calls them. He calls them the Red Trouser Brigade. Yeah, make a nice little field out of this. Should be pretty good. We'll carry on with that in a minute off camera. Hey, look! Nearly finished seeding, ladies and gents. We've nearly got one field seeded. Excellent. We have got one field seeded. Awesome. You know what that means? Now come over here. Make a start on the next field. Aren't we? Yeah, get through the cotton planting. It'll be pretty good for us. I know it's a bit, I'm doing things a little bit backwards, doing the headland first, but because normally you wouldn't do the headlands first. You would do them like pretty much last because of compaction, driving over the headlands to get on and off the field and turning around and stuff. You'd kind of try to avoid that, but obviously for me, using the artificial idiots to do my seeding and my planting, I'm doing the headland to make it so they can actually you don't miss bits of the field, although they're probably going to, particularly on this field. I imagine they'll miss quite a bit, because I know when I did the ploughing and stuff, they really struggle with these little cutout areas. They do, they really do struggle with that. You know, they drive into, like, they'll plough down here and cultivate. They'll get to the like this point and they'll stop and go, "We're finished." And you're like, no, you've still got all of that bit of the field to do, you muppet. For those, you know, artificial idiots. Oh, are you telling me that this won't actually remove that? Oh, interesting. Spriggly bits of cotton left over from the ploughing and cultivating, where it didn't quite get all of it. Need to make sure we do a better job in future then of the ploughing and cultivating. Like I say, I probably should have trimmed a bit more off of this field actually with the plough. That might have helped. put a proper straight edge on it. Just to neaten things up. This field is a bit weird though, it is very wonky shaped. Like I say, ideally again what I would like to have done is bought that plot of land that little house is sitting on, evict the owners, bulldoze the house, remove the trees, and then have actually just made the field, you know, properly. A bit like this field over here, that garage there, there's no house attached to that garage. Okay. So, I have no idea what that's for, that garage, and why it's just randomly in the middle of that field. That seems completely pointless to me. That is such a way. And why stick a bloody a lamp post there as well? I bet you can't remove the lamppost. I bet if you bought that and deleted all that bit, that is actually up one field. I bet you can't remove that lamppost. So you'd end up with a lamppost stuck in the middle of your field. This should be the one bad thing. But yeah, we'll do this. We'll start to get this field planted. Nearly used all our seed and fertiliser already. But yeah, we'll be well on our way. Like I say, I can then spend the rest of February sorting out those fields I've bought, I've purchased, getting them ploughed and in ship shape. Soybeans harvested, and that field is owned by me. Well, you know what? Field that is owned by me, that is harvested. I might decide not to actually do anything with that field. I might decide that that is where a good place for me to put my greenhouses, on that tiny little bit of land. It'll be over here with my grapes and my olives and stuff. That's probably a good plan, because it's not a very big field. You're not going to get a load of crop off of it. I did think about maybe if I had purchased it earlier, I would have joined it to this field and used it to make obviously more cotton. But now I've got the idea in my head that I might prefer use it to make make vegetables and salad stuff. Some nice greenhouses on there. Or orchards. Let him run now on his own. Mr. Stone Picker actually finished picking the stones off field 14. A bit. I can sort that out. I can go and take care of that issue. And what I'll do, ladies and gents, is I'm going to say to you all, thank you for watching today's episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'll be back again very soon with another episode. But for now, from me, ladies and gents, take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Cheerio.